friend, Abby clarified. And because she was raised in a house where being rude to one's elders was considered sacrilege, she refrained from pointing out that spying on thy neighbor was also not a respectable hobby. "If you say so," Nora sounded unconvinced. "It would be a shame if the neighborhood became a drive-through for the town's bachelors." Nora would actually be ecstatic if that happened, because she'd capture each and every transgression on film and post it on Facebook. Not that there would be any transgressions of the male variety. Abby was finally single, and she meant to keep it that way. So, with a polite smile, she said, "And he was just leaving." Only Rodney didn't budge. Raising a brow, Abby reached for the door handle and, as though anticipating her next move, which was to disappear back inside her house, pull the curtains, and toast her D-Day with a mimosa, he took a step forward. And wasn't that just like a man, self-centered, domineering, and even though he was the one who was crapping all over her good morning, determined to be heard? Abby took in the receding hairline, frown marks, and the cab of the flatbed tow truck peeking out from behind Nora's enormous manicured shrubs, her gaze landing on the repossess part of his title, and rolled her eyes. "If you're here to repossess Richard's car, you wasted your time because, like I explained only seconds ago, Richard is not here." Nor was he her problem anymore. "So, if you'll excuse me, I have to get ready for an appointment." Which was not until tonight, but standing on the front porch in her sexy robe, talking to a strange man where her neighbors idly placed bets on whether he was the first post-D-Day walk of shamer, was not her idea of easing into respectable singlehood. "I'll make it quick, then. The name's Rodney, of Rodney's Recovery, Repossession, and Party Rentals." He pointed to the logo on the front of his hat as though that was all the identification required, and extended a newspaper clipping. "I need to confirm if you are the Abigail Moretti, the Abigail who placed this ad in the local paper." Abby's face heated as she looked at the full-page ad from the Sentinel. It was a copy dating from last summer, boasting a missing persons announcement with a photo of Richard that had been taken on their wedding day. He was dressed in a tux, looking handsome and faithful, and like a man in love. Abby nearly snorted. "Yes, I was trying to locate my estranged husband so that I could—" She paused, her face heating again, but this time with anger. "Wait! Don't tell me that son of a bitch is trying to sue me for defamation of character. It was an ad that I had to take out because he refused to show his cheating face so I could serve him with divorce papers." Richard had successfully managed to elude her, her family, and the law for the past 7 years. By Abby placing the ad, which qualified as a divorce by publication, Richard had 6 months to come forward. Otherwise, the divorce would be granted. Richard hadn't come forward, which meant the divorce was granted today. Rodney raised a brow. "The headline reads, 'Have you seen my dick?'" It was the question of the hour for women everywhere, I assure you. "I'll take that as a yes. You are Abigail Moretti, who married Richard Moretti in St. Helena, California 8 years ago." When Abby only crossed her arms, Rodney gave a decisive nod. Turning around, he waved his hand, signaling. Signaling to who, Abby had no idea, but her stomach sank all the same when he hollered, "Bring it on in! This is the right house!" Before Abby could process what was happening, a loud beeping echoed throughout the cul-de-sac, announcing the ginormous truck backing up, right over her lawn, the garden bunny one of her piano students had painted for her, and straight through the center of her dahlia garden. Her beautiful dahlias that she'd planted and nurtured into a masterpiece of horticulture supremeness. It was the centerpiece of her yard. Hell, it was the centerpiece of her whole day.